Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bold Badass Business Show. Woohoo! Where we bring you badasses from across the globe. And you know what? For the first time in a year and a half, there was an internet outage last week. And so this is our makeup show, but you got to have the suspense build for days. And so it means that, it's like sex. The climax will be better, right? Having the actual interview is going to be the best thing ever. So, you all, today we have the Prince of Positivity, Spencer Jones, who owns Jones and Four. Spencer has two podcasts, and I had the joy of hearing him speak at the Connected Leaders Academy Global Summit back in May. Was it? Was it May?
Yes, it was early May, I believe. Whew,
I just instantly enjoyed his energy. I felt like he has such a powerful story to tell of how he reinvented his life, and just thrilled to have you here, Spencer, on the show. Woohoo!
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on here and share. I love the message you are sharing, and we can only hope that this climax is even better than it would be on Friday. So I'm super, super excited to be here with you and with everybody joining in. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. And today we're going to talk about one of your special IP. And those of you who don't know what IP is, it's intellectual property, but one of your special terms that you've created. It's always good in business, everyone listening, to have certain terms that you create. Like I have Dr. Barnsley's HBDO formula, and to make these part of your message so that they're memorable and they can impact people. So today we're going to be talking about why energy sovereignty is crucial to your badass business. So first of all, Spencer, how about just giving us a definition of energy sovereignty? What the heck is that?
Energy sovereignty is essentially managing your energy kingdom. The way I like to explain it short and easy is you have this beautiful light inside of you. There's energy flowing into it, energy flowing out of it. Well, let's help you manage that. So make sure that your light is shining as bright as possible.
I love it. So your kingdom, or in my case, my queendom.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, Spencer, I call my queendom Barnsley Landia.
I love it. That's awesome.
What do you call your kingdom?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, for mine, it's all energizers. Like it's everybody. We just encompass everyone and support everyone. So energizers is all that is.
And that's your community that you have.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. Beautiful. And you've got people from all over the world in that community, right?
Yes, that's exactly right, Dr. Barnsley. We're super lucky and blessed. I've been coaching people with fitness and mindset for the last 10 years. But then from the pandemic, I actually retired from teaching. I was a middle school, high school choir director for 9 years. So I retired right before the pandemic hit to take the business full time. And then we had to adjust business models a little bit. But the best part about that, we were able to reach even more people around the world. So we have people from Australia, Switzerland, Germany, UK, all around the US, Canada, and everywhere join us for the different things that we do in our community. So it's such an honor to help people step into their light and shine all around the world.
I love that. And step into your light and shine, you all. Did you hear that? Yes. I was using in the description of this a lot of things like illuminate, Spencer illuminates, etc. So you all, I want you to hear something that Spencer just said. And that is I heard so many people complain about the COVID, blah, blah, blah. Well, you like me, Spencer, it was like, what do I do now? I've been teaching Reiki and doing business seminars in person. So what do you want me to do, Source? I asked the question in meditation. The answer was start the mastermind you've been thinking about for 10 years. Started it on a Tuesday, put it on Facebook, filled it up. The next week. Yeah, it was filled up by Monday. But the point being, it's all about, those of you listening, it's all about how you frame whatever situation in your life, right, Spencer?
100%, right? It's the story we tell ourselves, right? We can hack the way you look at life, the way your brain builds its neural pathways together. It's all the story you tell, the narrative, yourself and the world. So yes, the pandemic sucked for many things. It was a hard time for many, but there were so many benefits that have come from it and advances. So all depends what you look at. Yes, I see the negatives. I'm the prince of positivity, but I'm not toxic positive. I recognize that there's crap in the world, that there's hardships. Let's face it. Let's go through it. Let's not bury it, but let's not give it more energy than it needs. Let's focus on the good, the positive. So for the pandemic, yeah, there were so many positives that came out of it, and we wouldn't be where we are. We wouldn't have the community that we have now if it wasn't for that. Heck, you and I probably wouldn't know each other if it wasn't
Exactly.
because of
We certainly wouldn't. Oh, wow. Well, one of our our latest adoptee was like, yeah, yeah to that. Fezziwick says yes. He agrees. Do you agree, Fez? Okay, good job. Smart dog. Dog is God spelled backwards. He knows that. So I love your mission. And you see, the light is in everybody, even when it feels like it's dark. And to somebody, even when you're in those dark places that we've all had. And I know, Spencer, you went through a pretty dark time. Are you willing to share with people about that? Because I think it's so inspiring.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to. Easier to share now than it used to be, right? Because
Yeah.
I have time to come to terms with it. So, long story short, I for 30 plus years, I was led by my ego, right? I let my ego make decisions. I wanted to prove myself to the world. And I think a lot of young people, especially young men, feel that way. Like we have to prove our worth, our value. And that was instilled in me at an early age. So I kept pursuing, trying different things. And life would knock me down at different times. It would check me. But I
Hmm.
wasn't paying attention. I was young and dumb. And I'm like, whatever, Spencer's got this. I'll show you. And I just kept going and pushing, pushing, pushing. Well, me doing that led me to make some really stupid decisions in my life that and then destroyed my world. It felt like a bomb went off. I not only hurt myself, but I hurt people I loved and cared about deeply. And just I lost jobs and commitments and all these different things that we associate with success because of the choices I made. And so for me, life kicked out that pedestal from underneath me. I came crashing down and I hit hard, where I felt cold, I felt alone, I felt tired, exhausted. I mean, my wife was there, and I had like two or three other friends who were there to support me. But other than that, there was no one. And even with them there, it felt like they weren't there. Nothing against them, right? I was just all in my head. I lost who I was because I was trying to. Well, I put up all these facades, these fake faces to
Yeah.
try to convince people, oh, this is who I am, right? Please like me, please notice me, right? Like, just show me some attention, because that's what I'm craving, is to be acknowledged, to prove myself. And what happened is I didn't know who I was. When I hit my rock bottom and I was contemplating suicide, I wasn't sure, why am I here on earth? Why am I doing this? Why am I putting so many people through such incredible pain? It would be better if I'm not here. My wife made me promise not to kill myself, so I promised, and then I'm like, okay, well, what is this for? I've always been more of an optimist, but at this point, I'm like, what's a positive from this crap, right? And I'm trying to keep this PG, but what's the good
You don't
side?
have to keep it PG. This is
Okay,
all badass business.
right?
Speak it
So
real. Keep it real.
what's the positives? What's the silver lining of me going through this shit? And I'm struggling, and all I could come up with was, it's going to lead me to learn something to help someone somewhere along the line so they don't go through this or get through it faster. What that lesson is, no clue. No clue what that was at the time. I was like, I don't know. I'm just banking on this and hoping and doing the work. The crazy part is I was doing personal growth development already at the time for myself and a couple others, but I was only letting it go surface deep. It wasn't until I hit my rock bottom and then I started working with a therapist that then it could take hold in fertile soil, right? And really sink in. And so I was like doing the surface work, and now I was actually doing the inner work with it and learning and healing and realizing what I didn't know before. And that was, I didn't know who I was. Like I
Yeah.
lost, like, do I like chocolate cake? I don't know. Do I like this TV show? I don't know, because I would just say yes or no, depending who I was with at the time. I had zero knowing of who I was.
Mhm.
And so over that time, I implemented the resources I've learned before, and the therapist gave me new ones. I added those to my tool belt, started implementing that, and then started helping other people, and then growing it into this business that we have now, which is so much better than it was before, because it was more surface level before. And now we actually are able to go deep and help people really change their mindset about who they are, their worth, their value, and really just help them step into their light and shine.
I love that mission because when we love ourselves, it's really impossible to hurt other people. or at least when we accept ourselves lovingly.
Yes.
Okay. And I like that you said you made stupid choices. I certainly made stupid choices. Who else has made stupid choices? Put yes in the chat. Go for it. Be real. Put it
All of
out
us have.
there.
Let's be
Let
real,
it
folks. We
out.
all have.
Cough it up. It's just a hairball. you know, let
Right.
it out. Just regurgitate that shit, because the truth of the matter is we are not stupid. We have made some stupid choices. All of us have. And if you say you didn't, then, obviously you're in denial. Okay, Fezziwig. Yeah, okay. I'm having to put you guys listen, okay? Those of you who are listening without watching, my hand is being licked throughout this entire interview to keep him, from whining. He suddenly decided he was going to whine when we got on here, Spencer.
I have that kind of energy on the animals. My cat's running in the back. My other dog, one of my dogs, is asleep behind me. Thankfully, others he might be doing the same thing. So
Yeah, time for the Benadryl, Fezziwig. No, I didn't just say that. I'm just kidding, y'all. Somebody's gonna be like, "Oh my God, she gives her dog Benadryl." No. So I love the mission, and the truth of the matter is, when we love ourselves, it's really hard to hurt others.
Right.
And we need a world. I believe, and I'm a stand for a world where people are givers and where everyone matters. And I know you are as well. And teaching people about their value is so essential. So, what would you say are some of the biggest judgments that people make about themselves when you start working with them? I think I just have this feeling that folks listening are going to want to try that on and see, oh, is that something I've said to myself,
Right. One of the biggest and most common things that we see, and I've seen it myself too at times, is who am I? Like, what?
Yeah.
I'm not worthy to be doing this. I haven't done this before, or I haven't got those quote unquote credentials before. Like, who am I to be leading this? And when I was doing the research to help answer that for myself and others, every CEO, major CEO, has felt that way before when they're first CEO. Like, who am I to be in this role leading this company, right? And you can think of all the big companies, all the CEOs who have been recorded on paper at least have said something similar, that imposter syndrome. And it's something that we have to know, that you are amazing, you are worthy, you are enough just the way you are. You might not have the skills yet of where you want to be, and maybe that's where you feel that lack. But if you could identify what's missing or what you'd like to learn and grow with, cool, then let's learn and grow with it, right? We can help guide you and support you in that. But knowing that there's nothing wrong with you inherently or anything like that. You are worthy, you're enough, you're whole the way you are. Now we're just like, oh, I'd like to work on this part of me. Oh, I'd like to work on this part of me. Like, I love me for me now. I didn't for 30 plus years, but there's still parts of me that I'm like, I'd like to work on that. I love me. I'd like to still work and make that better. Like, let's improve that. Let's raise my vibration by doing this. Let's, those types of things. And that's a beautiful thing when we're able to do that for ourselves and for others.
That's powerful. I was just thinking as you were talking to, imposter syndrome. Everybody's talking about that. It's one of those buzzwords these days. But you really can't have imposter syndrome if you don't know who the fuck you are.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%. And well, with that, how many how do I say this? How many of us are lying to ourselves about where we are? We think we know who we are, but yet we are comparing ourselves, leading to this imposter syndrome. But all these greats are up here, but I'm down here. Well, hold on. Let's stop comparing. Let's stop, because it's just a judgment. That's saying, hey, you're better than I am, or I'm better than you are. Let's just stop all that. We're in the same game. We're in the same arena. We're going up to our summit. We might be taking different pathways, but we're going there. Some of us are just on different parts of our journey. Some are farther along than others. Cool. If we could stop judging and placing each other on pedestals, then let's go, hey, you're farther along than I am in this aspect. Could you help me here? And hey, I might be farther along than you in this aspect. I can help you here. It becomes a mutual supporting relationship and community, as opposed to let me bring you down or pull me up or anything like that.
It becomes collaborative, and it becomes a co-creation, And think about it. When we look at light, we can't, unless it's a very strange beam coming in the window. Usually we don't see just one beam of light. We just see light. And that light is made out of a million, trillion, however many, billion, infinite number of beams. And we are all a beam in that big light. if we choose to be, right? We can certainly hide it under the proverbial basket, or, blow it up with the dynamite of self-loathing.
Right. Right. Well, we could stop letting that light shine out from the world, right? And we could step out of that light, as it were, and be like, nope, I don't want it. I don't want the world to see me. I'm going to hide, or I'm refusing to accept this light and love in. I'm going to be sheltered. And because maybe you feel you know better, or you've been told that that's not healthy, or whatever, right? Whatever stories you tell yourself. And you do you, whatever you feel is best. But I'll tell you from my experience, once you step into your light and you shine, and it takes trial and error. There's gonna be times when you step and you're like, "Whoo, that's hot." I'm like, I'm not so sure about that. I don't know. And then you're like, okay, let's a little bit more. And then the cool part, especially as business owners, when you step into your light, and we've seen this time and time and time again, not only in our own business but in our clients, is that when you step into your light and you're sending that positive energy, you're embracing it, you're sharing it, your impact goes up infinite amounts. Like we had one client who was rocking her business. They were doing 7 figures at the time, which was awesome. But it was such a negative work environment. She wasn't enjoying going to work. The coworkers weren't enjoying it. The team members there, it wasn't happening. So working with us, shifting her mindset from a negative to positive within herself, and then to her team members and family, and it started to shift. Obviously, there's some tension, stress. It took a little bit of time, but she was able to shift it to where then some people left. She had to bring on new people, which is great, because now they bought into that positive energy, that energy bus, as it were. They bought into that and made this work environment that was fun and engaging, and people were looking forward to being there and working with her. And then within 2 years after that, 7 figures to 8 figures, and then has now exited and sold the business for who knows how much. Just truly incredible to see the power of, once you accept it and you step into that light and start sharing it, the impact goes up, not only in your bank account, but in people's lives.
Absolutely. The bank account is just a reflection of the amount of giving, I believe, the amount of giving and serving that you're doing in the world. And it can come from so many different ways. In my program, we love to put earned income and unexpected income. Nice. Because you just never know how stuff is going to be. People gift me stuff all the time, Spencer.
Right? It's such an amazing thing when you impact people's lives, and the universe, God, earth, wind, fire, whatever you choose to call it, send you that love and light. And whether that's monetary, whether it's something, other things, it's still beautiful.
It is beautiful. Well, we've got some people tuning in. Hey, Nadine. Hey, Robert Rodriguez. Bienvenido. And we're happy you're here. And I hope this won't be your only time that you come and listen to Bold Badass Business, because I assure you, we have really incredible guests. I was so thrilled. As you were talking, Spencer, I was thinking about a moment of flustering. Is that a word? It is now. Flustering that I had when I was pre-recording an interview with somebody who I followed for years, and he's quite famous. And I really told him I was not going to use his interview questions. And then I just totally blanked during the interview. And I said, you know what? I just have to tell you, Bob, I have just admired you so much. I am just tongue-tied, and that is unusual for me. And he was so gracious, and then we somehow, kept going, It was not a problem, but it was just a moment of, let's be real. We all have those moments where we feel, we do ask that, who am I? Or, am I prepared? Maybe a higher vibrational level of that question,
Right. And knowing that if we're not prepared, okay, what do we need to do to get prepared for it? Like, we're getting ready for our big summit coming up, and okay, it's all these different talks and conversations, all these pieces coming together. How prepared can we be for it? But then after we prepare for it and set and practice, then we also have to really remember to let go and release it and not stress over it. Know that it's going to work and catch it, because we've done the prep work and all of that stuff, which is huge, so that you can let go and have it be as abundant and as impactful as you want. And shout out to our energizers here, Robert Rodriguez, right? Rocking the lure business. An awesome guy out of Texas. Love you, Robert. Thank you for being here. And energizer Nadine. Welcome, Nadine. I was just hanging out with her in London just a couple weeks ago for one of our events. So welcome, Nadine, and have fun in Scotland this weekend.
Oh my goodness, my old stomping grounds. I did my master's degree in Edinburgh, and boy, I loved that place. When I came back to North Carolina, I cried, Nadine. I cried for 3 months, just so you know,
Mm.
because I was like, oh, I don't want to leave. Anyway, yeah, it's a beautiful city, and it's so walkable and so many interesting things. You're going right after the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which is just amazing. I got to perform in that, Spencer.
Oh, that's
So
cool. What a fun
there's a story
experience.
I'll tell you sometime when we're on the phone. But now let's keep focusing on energy sovereignty. So, you know, here's something I love to say, and I'd love to hear what you think, Spencer. Everything in life is neutral unless we decide it's not. All right. So when somebody leaves us, it's really a neutral event. Somebody left, and maybe they died. Maybe they just left, right? Because they were, we got on their nerves, whatever, in a business relationship or a romantic relationship, whatever it may be. But everything is neutral. And then we have the opportunity to ascribe it meaning. And that's where we get into problems, or we get into problems when we internalize the meaning somebody else has given it.
Mm.
So I wasn't A++ in math. I was great in all my other, I was gifted in everything else, but I hated math. And so I really took the script of, oh, I'm not good at math. But the truth of the matter is I was still better than the normal quote unquote students in math. But I felt like a dumbass in math, you know?
Right.
But comparatively, you know, that's ridiculous because I was making an A in a class that wasn't the gifted and talented. So, you know, we can just tell ourselves this stuff, or we can take it into us, and it's really erroneous.
Well, it ties back into what we were talking about earlier, right? Of the narrative that we're telling the world and ourselves. I, for one, similar-ish story. I was never gifted and talented, but I told myself I was bad at math. I was bad at math. I was bad at math.
Yep.
The story for me is I was homeschooled from 3rd grade up through high school. Then I went to college and became a choir director and all that stuff. But I told myself I was bad at math. And then a year ago, something like that, my wife and I were going through a trunk that my parents gave me with all different stuff. And I was looking through, and they had report cards. Who knows why? The report cards from like 1st grade, 2nd grade, and 3rd grade before I was homeschooled. Guess what one of my top subjects was?
Algebra.
Right? Well, I mean, I don't know if you're doing algebra as a 1st, 2nd grader, but math, right? Like I was really good at math at that time. I'm like, oh my gosh, how interesting is this? That after I was homeschooled, I was convinced I was bad at math. Why? Because my mom said she was bad at math and that I was bad at math, right? And that then carried over, and that was a narrative that I started to share. So to answer your questions, what are my thoughts on that? I could see it, and I'm not sure, but I could definitely see what you're saying is even no matter the intention that I put behind this action or this word that I'm saying, it is what it is. You determine how it affects you in a positive, negative, or neutral way. So I get that, right? A person leaves us, whether they passed away or they left on a trip or vacation. Cool, they left. What am I assigning to it? What emotion, what feeling am I assigning to it, whether intentionally or unintentionally? And then we can start working with it, make it all intentional. But then, all right, how am I going to take that? Or this person just flipped me off. Okay, am I going to be pissed off? Am I going to flip them off and, shout at them? Or am I going to be like, okay, cool, or taking it in a positive? That choice is yours. I think it gets trickier when people put a lot of energy into whatever that side of it is, whether it's a positive, then we're most likely going to take it as a positive. Or if they throw a lot of negative energy behind it, like, hey, fuck you, I don't want to see you in my fucking life, Well, yes, it could be a neutral event, but then it's harder for us to take it neutral, right? We want to take it that negative. But I see what you're saying. It's just an event. It's just energy.
That's it.
What we choose to do with it is what we choose. And the way I look at it is everything is love. Everything's just a different vibration of love, higher, lower vibration of love. It's all love. So if someone flips us off, cool, they're just showing me a negative vibration of love, but it's still love. Like, cool. All right. I'll take that as love.
They're feeling unloved. And so it's our opportunity to send a little love their way. Obviously, if they're flipping people off, something's going on there. And it's a chance for us to step up to the plate and send some good energy. And that may totally turn that person's day around,
And you never know. And they might get even more pissed off because you're showing grace and love and offering that. They might get more pissed off. Okay, that's on them. that's not on you, right? You're in control of what you do. So responding to one of the cornerstones for our Energizer family is respond with love. Respond with love, whatever that looks like. Sometimes it's saying something nice, doing something nice. Sometimes it's not doing anything at all because you can't think of anything nice to say or do. So you're just like, I'm just going to shut up. And then, cool. Then that's what you do, right? But you respond with love, and how they respond to it, that's on them, not up to you.
I love it. And yes, exactly. And we can just, let's just stay above that line, stay above that line, stay on the higher vibrational part, because we do have the yin and yang. We all have the light and the dark within us. And, it's just a matter of taking it up a couple of notches with gratitude, for instance. That's one of the easiest ways to get out of whatever crap we're telling ourselves, and have you ever noticed that a shitstorm, when you have something happen and you start focusing on that, then more comes and more comes and more comes. There's a reason, and that is what we focus on increases.
Right.
And so how about take that precious energy of yours, everybody listening, and really be aware, am I letting somebody have a guest room in my house who doesn't deserve to be there? Really? Like, I need to kick them out. Maybe I'm taking them a cup of hot cocoa in a hot water bottle. Let's get them out of there. Put them outside. Kick them out. They're taking up useful energy that could be placed onto your passionate purpose in the world.
100%. And I mean, the way I like to talk or explain that phenomenon, that reality for us, is life has an algorithm like social media. It's life's algorithm. What you focus on, you get more of, right? And social media, if you're, especially now in political season for us in the States, when you're scrolling, if you focus on a negative post, whatever side of politics you're on, or anything, a negative post, Facebook sees it and goes, oh, you're more engaged with it. So it's going to show you more of it because it wants to keep you on that platform. Whatever that's a positive or negative or whatever, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Because the same thing, if you focus on negatives, you're going to get more negatives because life goes, oh, this is what you're focused on. Let's show you more of these things. So if I'm focused on positives, oh, look at the helpers, find the gratitudes. These are the amazing things. I'm grateful for this, that, the other thing. Oh my gosh, the world goes, oh, cool. We'll show you more of it. And it's partly the world doing it, but it's also a lot of your brain saying, all right, let's find more of the things that you are focused on, because now that's bringing us joy, bringing us love.
It's the reticular activating system, the RAS, man. That's the thing, you all. And once we have something come into our focus, suddenly we see it everywhere, whether it's a particular car we want, or it's a kind of dog we want. Yes, I said the word dog. Now I've got two of them over here, and I am, they're licking my hand throughout this interview. So I could be like, oh, this is so annoying. Or I could just be, well, I won't need to wash my hands for the rest of the afternoon.
Hopefully you keep your flesh on. They don't lick it all off.
Hopefully I just have enough of the squash casserole to keep them occupied during here. I'm meeting it out to them in tiny little bits, Well, energy sovereignty, here's the thing. It is our own kingdom or queendom. And so ultimately the responsibility is on us.
Well, that's right.
It is on us to make the choice. And a lot of people choose to complain. In fact, I remember going years ago to a wonderful speaker. He had the no complaint revolution, and I cannot think of his name right now, but you might want to look him up, Spencer. And he gave us these rubber bands, and you would put it on one wrist. And the challenge was 21 days without complaining, 21 days with that on the same wrist. And if you complained about anything, you had to put it on the other side and start over, start your 21 days over. Guess what? I didn't make it through the 21 days. I don't know anybody did. I don't think anybody did. Maybe he did, but he had a lot of practice. Point being that, we're focused as a society on the negative, and certainly the media puts a lot of negativity out there. If it bleeds, it leads, is one of the things they say in journalistic circles. So we really have to consciously be aware and be vigilant about what we allow in.
100%. Think about it like you're the master of your ship and all that cup, as it were. And so what's the energy flowing in? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it supporting you? Maybe it was positive for you before, it helped you, but now you're at a higher vibration. You're going for different things. So it's not aligned anymore. So we still need, it's not just like check it once and be done. No, we just keep checking in, making sure that the stuff coming in is helpful and an alignment and pouring good things into you. And then also, where's it going? Are those energy vampires draining your cup? Do you recognize that they're there? Are you aware of them? Some of them are sneaky and hide in and can do that. And if your cup is running dry or empty, that leads to burnout. If you're struggling and feeling exhausted a lot, or you're trying to deal with all these different things just to manage your energy, then what about your business, right? You're becoming reactionary to your business about, oh my gosh, this is happening, this happens, as opposed to being proactive. When you take care of you and your cup and your energy sovereignty, you're the master of that and have that flow down beautifully. Well, then you're able to take care of your business and be that badass that you are and impact the way that you want to impact people. But you have to take care of you first, because no one else, you can't help. I mean, so many people's like, I just want to give, I want to support others. That's great. But what are you, how are you when you're exhausted? Right? Yeah, you need to take care of yourself first before you help others, right? Put that mask on you first, that, oxygen mask on you first, that analogy, or pick any of them. Take care of you first.
Right. Like, take the boulder that's attached to your foot off your foot before you jump in the water to help somebody else.
Exactly.
Let me save them. They're drowning. But, I forgot I have a boulder on my own foot. And, it's something that we chip away at over and over. I was thinking as you were talking earlier, Spencer, that, sometimes we think we've vanquished a pattern, right? Mm-hmm. We've vanquished a negative pattern, and then, darn it, there it is again in a different form. And it's like, oh my God, I've been working on this for 30 years. Now it's back. It's a different form. So what do you have to say about that? When we see those patterns, and, we've been working hard on ourselves with personal and professional growth, and really, therapy and counseling and 12 steps and all the other things we could do, prayer groups and groups. Yeah.
2 or 3 thoughts with it. I love the question. So 2 or 3 thoughts with it. I just refer to them as energy vampires, right? So when those energy vampires, those negative things come back in our life, one thing, we do our best to vanquish them. Then they come back, right? For me, it's a lot of guilt and shame from being an ego man and making stupid choices. So a lot of guilt and shame that come back. So for me, I go, oh, okay, this is back. Well, I have 2 options. One option is to go, I've dealt with you before. I've learned my lessons. I've pulled the lessons from it, which hopefully we all have done. I let you go again, right? And for me, I do a meditation, usually a nice letting go something, or I release it, however that works. So then I let go of that. Or I go, maybe there's another lesson here that I missed. Let me relook at this and see if there's another lesson here. And maybe there is, maybe there's not. And then I let it go again. And usually the more I work at it and remind myself to keep doing that, especially when I was at my rock bottom, I was doing that multiple times a day. And then it became twice a day. Then it was once a day, then it slowly expanded. And then you hit really hard, like, oh my gosh, I've vanquished this before, but now it's hitting me even harder and heavier. Okay, well, you have those 2 options. Which one are you going to do? And then pick one, go through with it, and keep going forward. The other thought I had is, as you mentioned, like, okay, we've been working with therapists or prayer groups and all these different things. That's great. You're working to combat it. But again, what energy are you putting towards it? What narrative are you sharing? If you're focused on the negative side of it, you're still getting the negative side of that energy. Like, I don't want to go back there. I don't want to go back there. I don't want to go back to that situation. You're putting that negative energy you're still focused on that negative situation. Although you're not saying it, you're saying the opposite, but the energy's still going there.
Guess what? The subconscious hears, Spencer, when we say that, I don't want to go back there. Subconscious hears, I do want to go back there.
Right, because that's what you're focused on. So focus on, well, I'm going here. I'm focused on this direction. I'm healing. I am healthy, right? Whatever those things are, so that your energy is going there. Are you subconsciously telling yourself and focusing on that negative, keeping the RAS system, the RAS system, focused on it still, as opposed to where you want to be? So just something to be aware of, because it could be sneaky, right? We've all fallen.
Oh man, it's sneaky. And in NLP, if neuro-linguistic programming, one of the things basic things they say is, are you oriented to the past or are you oriented to the future? Right? And orientation to the past would be, boy, I was a stupid dumbass, right? Or the whatever judgment you want to make of yourself, right? We all do it from time to time. And if you're oriented to the future, you could certainly be oriented to worry, or you can be oriented to the person you desire to become.
Right.
Here is who I'm becoming. who I am becoming, not who I will become, but who I am becoming, which puts it in the gerund form. It puts it right here in the present and the future.
Exactly, right? It's amazing what happens. So we need the future so we can plan ahead and look where we're going and make some plans, be flexible. We need the past to learn and grow from, but then let's live in the present moment. Let's live in the here and now, taking the steps needed for our future direction. But okay, once we got that, let's check in and let's just daily action. What am I doing here? What am I doing here? Oh, I'm still aligned. Good. Let's just keep going. All right. And that's how we really learn and grow and shine our light. I find is let's just be here now. Like we talked about, I'm prepping everything. And then I'm just going to be in the moment and let it flow.
And guess what? Sometimes it's going to appear imperfect. I was laughing because I don't like pictures. I love art, right? And I love pictures. Well, behind are some of my whatever certifications, graduation certifications. And I look back, I'm like, oh, look, it's perfect. It's absolutely slanted today. Which is great, because what are we modeling, right? Are we modeling that we're so anal retentive about everything being perfect, or are we just modeling freedom and enjoying the moment,
Just not everything needs to be all tight and organized and straight lines and all that. Color outside the lines. Go have
color outside the lines sometimes. Do you know, Spencer, there was a moment where I went into a little daycare with my daughter years ago, and the reason that my ex-husband and I decided that we would not let her go there was they were telling the kids to color inside the lines. And I was like, that's all I needed to see. It was the perfect thing. I was like, nope. My daughter wants to make a Picasso. She wants to paint with her feet. She can do it. That's what she should get to do. So yeah. So everybody think about that. Those of you listening, how have you been trying in some ways to be perfect? Because that is another form of judgment of ourselves, because if we're always trying to be perfect, we're never going to measure up. So we're always going to feel bad,
right,
about something if we have to be perfect.
It's so easy for us to judge others and compare ourselves, because we see, especially on social media, which some people hate social media. I love it because it's a great way of spreading joy, positivity, and connection, but it can also spread negativity and frustration. Yeah. And people post that quote unquote Instagram life, that perfect life, but know that that's not necessarily, most likely, not their life, right? And don't compare it. They're living life too and having ups and downs. They're just showing you some sides of it. And then you follow me and I show you the positives, but I also show you the hard parts and different things of it too. Like, let's just be real with one another, right? Life is life. There's highs, there's lows, but you don't have to do this journey alone, right? You have people by your side.
We do. And I think those moments when we're willing to really be vulnerable about, our own struggles or our own traumas and, those things that we've overcome, which were given to us for a reason. Right. Whatever your wound is, it's there to be part of your message, part of who you are on the planet, because you are tending to it, and in tending to it, you're learning about how to teach others to tend to it and take care of themselves. So we're all like Florence Nightingale,
Yes, I love it.
You're your own Florence Nightingale. How to be Florence Nightingale. I had a speaker friend who was a nurse, and she was hilarious. She had this whole parody. She used to get up and sing off key and play the guitar for these great big audiences. Deb Golden, loved her. We were in a woman speaker mastermind together, and she had this hilarious song about Florence Nightingale. What would Florence Nightingale say? Anyway.
That's fun.
Florence was kick-ass, though. Talk about badasses. Florence Nightingale had to be a badass. People make her out to be this very sweet and nurturing woman, but she had to be kick-ass. She was probably chainsawing people's bones back in, seriously.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Right?
I'm serious about that. She had to be a freaking badass. So you all listening, we've got to wrap in just a few minutes. I'd love for you to put a comment up about what you've heard that impacts you. What has really impacted you? What idea or what thought has impacted you in today's session? If you'd pop that up in the chat, we'd love it. We'd love to see what you're taking away. Right, Fezziwig? Fezziwig says yes. Woohoo! You didn't know I had a co-host. Hey, buddy.
Well, Well, as they are typing that, I would like to, I'll share this one little nugget of something I try to share on all the stuff I do, all stages and platforms. And that is, I just want everybody here listening, whether it's live, replay, wherever you are, to know that you are amazing, that you are worthy, that you are enough just the way you are. You don't need to do anything, change anything, or prove anything to anyone, because you are amazing, worthy, and enough.
I love that, Spencer. And my version of that, usually that I say in the closing, is you're a badass, even if you don't feel like it.
Yes.
And today, right? And I think the mark of being a badass is that even on those days when you don't feel exactly fabulous as you may some days, you still get up and you do the thing.
Exactly.
No matter what. You show up no matter what. And that makes you a badass. Yeah, Dana says, thanks, Spencer. Thanks for tuning in, Dana. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to Bold Badass Business. Woo-hoo.
Love all the energizers showing up. Welcome, welcome, Dana.
Yay, glad you're here. Where is Dana? Do you know where Dana is? Oh, Robert put something, letting go. Yes, 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 yes. Really letting go of negativity, he says, where my conscience does not bring up. Yes.
It's amazing how we get sucked into looking at those negatives in life, and just so easy to get sucked in, but to recognize it, go, oh, I'm slipping into that, or I'm in it, let me get out of it, right? And the more you help get yourself out, the faster you get at recognizing that slippage. And we all slip, we all fall into it at times, myself included. But as long as we get ourselves out on that other pathway, right, then
I love
doing
it.
the right thing.
Oh, guys, Spencer, I just got a download. We got to do something. I want to come on and guest for something, and let's talk about ways to reset when you get in negativity.
That would be fun.
Because resetting and knowing very clearly what your resets are, because there's not just one button. You can have as many as you want. You know, it may be as easy as taking a 10-minute walk. It may be just going outside and dancing on your deck, whatever it is. Knowing your reset buttons and having those to fall back on is so, so essential. It might be a nap. I think naps are sacred. I love my naps. When I get negative, it's like, okay, time for a nap.
It's just like a little refresh sometimes. That's all we need. 100%.
Just a little rest. Maybe you're just hangry or irritable because you didn't get enough sleep. You know, have you ever heard that acronym HALTS, Spencer? HALTS?
I have not.
Love this one. Are you hungry, angry, lonely, tired, or the S? I say scared. I added the S. Are you hungry, angry, lonely, tired, or scared? And if you think about that, oh, okay, I'm feeling off because, oh, I'm hungry, or I'm feeling off because I feel lonely right now, or I'm off because I'm feeling fearful, I'm scared. Then you can halt, stop, do one of your reset buttons, do Reiki, do meditation, do a disco dance, whatever it is. Or go listen to go be part of the amazing thing that Spencer's going to offer you all now. How cool is this? So, you know, those of you who are dedicated listeners on Bold Badass Business, you know that we have the freebie vault. I love the freebie vault because everyone who comes on here is giving their time, their energy, their intellectual expertise, their heart. And what we do is we put it into the freebie vault, and you can go in and get thousands and thousands of dollars of free gifts. How cool is that? And here is the URL for you, Robert and Dana and Nadine and everyone else listening. That is bit.ly/free from Dr. B. And that's DRB. Again, it's bit.ly/free from Dr. B. And just go on in there and help yourself. There's so many incredible checklists, courses, complimentary sessions, videos. I mean, mind movies from Natalie Ledwell. We got some great stuff in there, and it's for you as gifts from our amazing badass guests. So Spencer, now here comes the moment of unveiling. What are you giving everyone? And here's the wonderful, amazing drum roll.
Well, first of all, amazing that you're offering that for people and collected that vault of freebies and free things to help people step into their light and shine. So I love it, love it, love it. I'm honored to add to it. And what we're adding is we have an academy, an online personal growth academy with over 100 different trainings and courses available. And we would love to offer everyone a free membership to that. For that membership, we get over a dozen. I think it's like 14 as of now, but we're adding more to it slowly. Of different courses and training, so you can have more reset buttons. Maybe you want to learn more about meditation and master that, or journaling, or Reiki, right? A wide variety of different things that's in there. You can learn more about and customize that for you. So it's called the Jonesin 4 Academy, and you can find that in the vault and get your free membership. It's lifetime. You sign up for it, you got it for life, and it's there to support you.
I love that. What a gift. And I understand there are also some they can get even more with one of your very affordable memberships. So you all can also take a look at that. And remember, I like to say, tithe to the people who support you spiritually, tithe. And I consider it a tithe when you purchase somebody's books or their courses or their programs, or you go to the summits and they are supporting you spiritually. That is part of your tithe. So just think about it, you all. Doesn't that open up tithing? People think about it as just to my spiritual community, but the truth is your spiritual community is anywhere.
That's very true.
I tithe to people that I meet out on the street because they said something that changed my life.
Nice.
And it's like, oh my God, I tithed to this family I saw recently, and they just lifted my spirit. I mean, they were out, this whole family with this little kid, and they had these roses, and it was around, I guess, when was it? Mother's Day maybe or something. And my daughter and I were going by, and I didn't have any change, and so I couldn't buy anything. But I'm like, let's go back. Let's go to Wendy's and get them Frosties, and then let's go back. And that's what we did. And they were so sweet. The lady came up and she gave us also this little stuffed animal, just in addition to the roses. And it was just this moment of, we didn't speak the same language. It didn't matter. We spoke the language of humanity.
Right. It's a beautiful, amazing thing to do. And you can give in so many different ways, shapes, or forms, right? And so I'm honored that I'm able to offer that to pour into people's light, and I'm honored for all of our energizers who pour into our life, and the random strangers who are energizers that are new friends.
I love it. Well, Spencer, you've given us so much to think about, and we can all be thinking about, how's my kingdom and how's my queendom? Do I need to get a better fortress for my energy sovereignty? Have I been letting in the energy vampires? Is it time to put them on the other side of the moat with a lot of hungry crocodiles there? But you all, I hope you'll take this idea of energy sovereignty and know, everyone listening, that you're a badass. You are a badass, or you wouldn't have tuned in today. And again, you'll find us every Friday. It's usually Fridays at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 p.m. Pacific, right on Facebook or YouTube. But I like people to come on Facebook, because then we can see on my Facebook page, because then we can see your wonderful comments. Thanks for everybody who engaged today. The more you engage in the life, the bigger a badass you are, and the bigger an impact you make. So much love to everybody. Thank you again, Spencer. And I'll see y'all for the badassery next week.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.